Right, I'm fed up of seeing all these wires, especially when I got the TV out like that. When I got the TV out facing the bed, you've got all this massive bloody wires behind here. You can't help them. That's the power supply for the TV, 12 volts. That's the aerial lead, and there's excess. That's the aerial lead coming in from the outside up into a booster, which is on and off, right? But you got those two there. Now those two there. That's the from the solar charger, and that one is the microwave. I had the fridge fan switch there, right, which was before I put the TV up. It was easy access, when I got the fridge on gas or electric, to help it along and take the heat away from the vehicle, because all fridges heat the unit up. I mean, to me, when it's on electric, there's nothing wrong with that heat coming back in if it's winter. But you've got to be able to shut it off for gas to be able to take it outside. But through that hole there is just the other side of that is the fridge vent on the outsides. So there's a computer fan up against it, which extracts and sucks all the air out from behind the fridge, and it goes from underneath the fridge, comes up, or at the bottom of the van, and there's a drop out hole underneath the bottom, and then this switch used to turn that fan on and off, because when I haven't got the fridge on, there's no need for it to be on, turn the fan to be turned on. So I'm going to run those two wires up, because I have now made a mess. I've now made another one of those light panels that I did up there, only with all square switches. Let's get some decent light on it there. Only the LEDs, the switches I'm using haven't got LEDs in it, so as you could see by the whoops, I nearly dropped it then, by the little marks by my thumb, I shall drill and put some LEDs, some 3mm LEDs across there, one for each switch. Reason why there's 6, because as I say, that's the fridge one, and up behind the line in there I've got the switch that turns the extractor on the rear skylight. I've got another big computer fan up there, which at the moment it only sucks out, which I thought would be ample, just suck the heat out when the skylight's open. I don't want a draft coming down there, so I'll most probably leave him on that. And then so that's 2. Then the interior lights, the ones that are on the ceiling, right, they come on and off with the light switch that's on, right. But when you're sat watching TV, they're okay as good downlighters, but you've got all these others that come on, so I put a switch up there that I could turn the back ones off. So that was independent, so they all still go off with that front switch. That's a USB fan, that is, so that goes off the solar switch, that is. So I'm going to put another switch panel up there next to my extractor fan on the front, and thermostat, and I'm going to put it up there, and I'm going to be able to run all those from there. So that's 1, 2, 3 switches there. That's those 3 switches. But then on the end of the bed, I've got another 2 switches there. The right hand one is the 240 volt inverter, and the left hand one is the water pump isolator. So as other kids don't turn the taps on and run all my water out as they have done in the past. So I've made a little loom, so I'm going to run those 4 wires straight up. Well, actually it'll be 3 wires, because the power's already up here, and so I'll run those up. And to get rid of those wires, I've been to B&Q. Let me focus out. Been to B&Q, and I've got a conduit that'll go up against the wall, and all those wires will get put inside it to hide them out of the way and keep them tidy. I shan't put the aerial lead in there because I never know if I'm going to take the TV off the stand and put it on a desktop or something like that. So that makes fridge switch, extractor switch, light switch, inverter, water pump. So that's 5. That's 5. So I've got a spare switch this end. So I don't know what I shall use that one for yet, but no doubt in the long term there will be something else wanted up here. I don't put that LED on a switch. It's got a reverse switch there for the fan and a speed controller to suck in or blow out. But if I turn that off, if I take the power off that, right, I've got to keep resetting it all for the time, you know, for the temperature to start and the temperature to turn off. Look at that, it's 20 degrees in here now. I'll soon have my shirt off. So if I put that on a switch, it doesn't take any power. I think it's 0.5 of a watt or something. It's drawing, so it's totally usable at that. So the solar's putting in 5 amps today because it's nice and sunny. Like those there, that's the cupboard light and the down lighters for underneath. So I shall leave those there because they're handy reach from when I'm sat down on there. I run the laptop off the cigarette lighters under there, or off the mains off that one, because that one's the shore power, that one's the inverter. So I've got the choice. I can either run it on 12 volts, which I'm going to run it on 12 volts because it's pointless wasting the power running the inverter from 12 to 240, from 240 back down to 19. So it's run it off a cigarette lighter. So that's what I'm in the middle of doing now, is putting that conduit in and running the cables through. So as usual, I buy my cable by the roll because you know, pointless just saying, well, I need 10 foot there, buying a 10-foot piece, having a foot off cut. So and then going and buying another 10 foot because you wanted 11 foot last time. So the switch can go back in the box because it's being replaced. I haven't finished making the switch panel yet because I've only got 5mm white LEDs and I want 3mm red ones, or green ones, it doesn't matter. So right, it's coming from there. What's there? And up there. Of course, I'm going to take all the bloody microwave out to get to it. I'm just going to push those up through for now, if there's enough room there. Yeah, there is. Should be there. There it goes. That's it. I can hear it in the microwave. There is a big enough hole behind there. In fact, there's a big enough hole to get 13 amp plug through, but I just don't want to cut the carpet back and have to stick all that back down. Come out the other side. Simple. It's just two cables go into that. Right. Let's see if I can reach those two wires. The simple one is always plan in front, if you can, to put all the wiring in behind the boards when you're lining the boards, lining the van out with the boards. But of course this one, it was never supposed to have been a camper. It had beds that folded into the panels, because I used to carry cars inside here. And the cars only came up to, I had 3'6" space left in the front. When I had the cars out of the van, I used to be able to drop the bed down out of the wall, and a worktop used to fall out of the wall the other side for a table. I used to have a kitchen stood against the window, and hence the reason why the sockets are down there, because that's where I ran the wires through, because I knew I was going to have those. But all these others are all afterthoughts, because the van was already insulated and lined. So I had no choice at the time. But of course that contract's long run out. So saying that, he has phoned me up. I've got Telford and Peterborough to do this week. But hence the reason why I'm now running all these extra wires on the surface and trying to. A lot of the boards still come off. I've manufactured those as though they do come off to get behind for running these sort of things. As I said in the past, I've ran a 7-core trailer wire cable, a 7-core cable, from the front right the way through the van, and every point where I thought I might want power, I put a loop in it, fetched it out through the board, and then put it back in, and it runs right to the back. So it still runs the lights. I've got strobe lights on the back. I've got the reversing lights on the back. I've got the dash cam. All those extra powers that I needed at the back, right, are running off the van. And when I fetched the power from the back to the front, so it's going all the way down the back and then coming all the way back up to the front, because I've got a reverse beeper, which is on a switch up the front. I don't want that on all the time. When I come back at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, I don't want to be reversing into a parking space and it going beep 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 and waking all the neighbours up and getting complaints. So it does work both ways. You can run a wire forwards or backwards, and I've still, as I showed you in the fuse box last week, I've still got 4 spare wires. So I know one wire only goes halfway down the van to the leisure batteries, because that one doesn't go backwards, it comes forwards. Forwards from the power from the leisure batteries through a fuse there up to the fuse box in the front to run the fuse box in the front. But anyway, that's enough of that. I'm just wobbling on again. So I shall get on with that now. I can put that back up. Right. Now I'll pull the protective sleeve off, because it comes covered. Stop you scratching it when you transport in. Of course I had to buy a 2.5 metre piece to get, what, 18 inches. It has got a sticky back, but I'm not going to bother with a sticky back. I'm going to put 3 screws straight through into the plug. This is where the fun starts. Trying to get all those cables to get inside now. Up there we go. And there's that one. In there. Because there is also a thin cable there too. I don't know if it's working. Maybe we'll quickly get in there. Because there's a back into it. There it goes. Off the glasses off. I'll put a slot in it to be able to put the fridge cable through. I mean, it is that tight there, it doesn't even really need to screw it up. But, to be on the safe side I will. Because that one's holding it, that's it. Right. So, we'll just screw that back. There you go. Now that's in a, oh, other way. That's in a conduit. I'll just shove a bit of carpet in that little hole to stop it being noticed. That's the best thing about carpet, it hides a multitude of sins. So there, that's all up there now, and all those wires are nicely tucked away. These I'll just tidy up and zip tie to the TV arm, because they shouldn't ever move again. Right, the next one will be which will be continued on this one, is when I wire up this to go up there to run all those switches. Right, catch you in a while. Right, put that in now. The fridge fan, I don't think you can hear it. No. We've got the water pump, and we've got the inverter. I've put the sticker down there for this for now, because I've lost patience, and I've gone and put it up, and I haven't drilled the holes for the LEDs yet, because I don't really know what size holes they're going to have, and all the LEDs will go underneath. Alright, so if you can just about see, so I'll put the stickers on the top once because I've got to take the screws back out, and if I pull the screw out it'll only pull that sticker off. So those two there will be for the lights, which I haven't taken that panel off yet, to run the wires through. That'll be the lights. That one will, if I focus on it, that one will be the lights, or no, that one will be the lights. That one will be the rear fan, 2 fans together. That'll be the rear fan, and then we got the spare down there. I'm glad that's in and out of the way now. I could have come a bit lower with it, but never mind. Never mind. Right. I don't like the reflective microwave. You know, you can see through it. It's got a reflective on there, so it looks like you're pointing somewhere else. Hello. So there, that's that done. Because that's those are still on that one at the moment. Just got to run the 2 wires across. Well, actually, they come down to here. They come down and along, because that's the channel inside, the roof channel. And the same with that one. That one runs along that channel all the way to the back and up to that fan. So I've only got to extend the wires from there up to my console. And the same with that one. Well, I'll interrupt those here. I know they come to here, so I'll interrupt those there and then take them up. Right. I've tidied up the. If I can get it undone. I can't get the bloody telly off now. Come on, there we go. Right. I've zipped those up on there, so I've only got the aerial and the lead. Push the rest of the white aerial lead that comes from outside back up under the board. That conduit's there, nice. That won't rattle, I hope. That's the power block for the 12 volts for the TV. But of course, microwave is plugged in down there. What else was there? That was it, I think. So it's all I gotta do now. Bloody tidy up. It's a bloody bomb site in here. There. Right. It's now 4 o'clock.